We are doing the astrology for 2023. This section is the Saturn in Pisces on March 8th, 2023. This shift will help the building blocks of our new societal ideas to flow with greater ease and with more creative expression. While this pattern will make us feel more vulnerable to the ups and downs of others' emotions, I am not sure that is actually a bad thing. I think we need more understanding of what others are going through so we can make better laws and structures that support the individuals so some do not get lost because of lack of opportunity or education. Pisces is the planet of undoing, and it will radically undo those things that were unfairly implemented and intentionally designed to cause harm to selected groups. Saturn loves order through showing us the limitations within our systems. Saturn shows us our faults and the places where we did not take responsibility for our actions. Saturn in Pisces will try to interconnect the lessons of all the previous Saturn cycles. We will get to look at whether we see ourselves as the victim, the villain, or the visionary. While Saturn wants to work out the mechanics of things in order to have structures that will stand the test of time, Pisces is like the water that shapelessly moves through and carries us on the currents of chaos towards the gifts that we have denied. Saturn will try to form a shape for our intuition, our emotional states, and to help us make our idealistic dreams into something that can be possible. This will be a cycle where we should expect to see revolutionary artists rise up and become a voice for a movement that is calling for a new theme song or songs. Saturn in Pisces can feel like a deluge of change that will radically shift our viewpoints. If you had not noticed, we are in a whirlpool of stimulation. There is constant noise from all the social media platforms and the news that is blasting at us. But Saturn attempts to put direction into the flow and pull us out of despair and depression of the past cycle into the flood of accountability for the consequences of the actions of many in power. Expect to see the scales of justice finally start to balance out, especially for those with punishments for silly things such as the having of cannabis. Those that rejected the values and rights of human existence will now have to face harsh consequences. Those that have been rejecting their own moral principles and have caused so much intentional yet meaningless overloads of information will find that they have fewer followers. Saturn will speed up the collapse of tyrannical religious groups and those that manipulate information for intentional harm of this planet, nature, mankind, or those in the most desperate need. Saturn in Pisces is going to be a big cosmic 2x4. I look forward to watching it unfold over the next 2.5 years. Cynicism will become obsolete, and those that follow paths that cause harm will feel the sting of huge numbers of people rejecting their stance. Those that plague others with their dissociated tirades will become tiresome and obsolete. The climate catastrophe will be clear, and many will now be held accountable. The counterculture of self-aggrandizement will flail and fall apart, and a new culture that places higher service at the forefront will take hold. We are entering into a cycle where we are required to have purpose with perspective. We are asked to share our gifts with an eagerness to create optimism. We will discover that Saturn has given us a powerful motor to push us upstream against the currents of conspiracy theories, political lies, and the gulags of misinformation. Pisces is a sign of sacrifice, and Saturn there will allow us to tune out the distractions that are being blasted at us from all directions and drop into the watery silence of the abyss of new and powerful currents. This position will expose our weaknesses and hypocrisies. I look forward to watching on the sidelines. It promises to be very interesting. Thanks, everyone.